Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. Let's knock this music down a bit. I don't know what background really feels like. That's right there. Right there. That's as good a guess as any. How are you guys doing? Happy Monday. Good to see you. Welcome. Unlike last week, I don't have a study that I'm running off to, so we can hang out here. Pastor Tanner is making tea. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Look, I have some right here, and I am excited because I'm not running anywhere. I should have some time for a decent stream. I'll have to, end a little bit later to go help put the kids to bed, but that's it. So we're chilling tonight, and here's a cool thing. I don't preach this Sunday. If you guys tuned in to the church channel, yesterday I didn't preach, and we've got a follow-up sermon from the same guest preacher from yesterday, so I don't preach this upcoming Sunday, which means that we can just kind of dig in, do what we'd like. I want to make some progress on the roadmap because I consistently fall behind on this for our worship team, which is not great. But yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. So we're just hanging out. Fatu Rechi, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. How are you? I hope you are well. So that's all I'm really doing tonight is just kind of doing roadmap stuff and yeah, digging in. So if you guys have any questions, tonight's a perfect stream to answer questions and just hang out. But looks like last time I'd kind of made up my mind on preaching 4 more sermons through John chapter 8 and then moving on to John chapter 9. So we could probably pull up the passage analysis, and with the passage analysis, try and figure out what the next pericope is going to be, right? What is up, Spider? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Hope you are well. So it looks like this one, a lot go 9, 1 through 12. So let's put that down as preliminary. John 9, 1 through 12. And let's also bring up the Bible outline browser. Right here. You guys have seen I keep using these tools back and forth for pericope selection. I'm doing great, thanks. How are you doing? I am doing very well, thank you. Yes, very well. It has been a busy one. I am hoping to settle back into a routine here in the near future. I've had family visiting for some time, which has been fantastic, but routines begin to go out the window, right? Because you're always adapting, hanging out, all that good stuff. So trying to get back on routine here. Looks like Lenski goes through verse 12. Let's see. JPCS, John Phillips goes through 12. Could get a little more granular and go, this kind of breakdown at this level, but I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, so he goes through verse 12. And boom. I mean, looks like everyone's going through 12. So this one feels like a no-brainer split for me. Even something as high level as this. I believe this is the UBS handbook. Has this exact same pericope selection, so I think it's good. When you have time, we got to catch up on my channel. When I mention you, none of my viewers remember you. It's been too long. It's been too long. I would love to. I'd love to make an appearance. And, I haven't been in this little corner recently, right? So, unfortunately, I've essentially removed myself. I enjoyed the community and everybody, but I just don't have time for everything. As you know, I'm very busy these days. I'm trying to put first things first, which you will remember you urged me to do, which I appreciate. But I would love to chat. That would be fantastic. So I think we're good on through verse 12. Let's go ahead and read it and see what we've got here. As he passed by, he saw a man blind from birth. And his disciples asked him, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" Jesus answered, "It was not that this man sinned or his parents, but that the works of God might be displayed in him. We must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. Night is coming, when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. Having said these things, he spit on the ground and made mud with the saliva. Then he anointed the man's eyes with the mud and said to him, Go and wash in the pool of Siloam, which means sent. So he went and washed and came back seeing. The neighbors and those who had seen him before as a beggar were saying, Is this not the man who used to sit and beg? Some said, It is he. Others said, No, but he is like him. He kept saying, I am the man. So they said to him, Then, how were your eyes opened? He answered, The man called Jesus made mud and anointed my eyes and said to me, Go to Siloam and wash. So I went and washed and received my sight. They said to him, Where is he? He said, I do not know. Yep, good split, because then they bring to the Pharisees the man who had formerly been blind. And there's a whole discussion about the next thing. What's up, Frankel? Good to see you. Welcome. How are you doing? Happy Monday. Cheers, y'all. Got a lot of tea? It's very, very nice. It's a raw pu'er that I've been nursing essentially all day. This is probably the 10th steeping is too many, but it's probably the 8th steeping of it. And man, just gets better and better. I don't have as much time these days to gong fu my tea, but when I do, I reach for a raw pu'er. That's great stuff. All right, let's try and go 13 through whatever. What's next? 13 through 34. Pretty much everyone does. And it's a big controversy. Though I was blind, now I see. Man, I'm trying to get all the details. Yeah. Again, it's a pretty straightforward one. John 9, 13 to 34. That's going to be a large pericope, though, so we're going to have to see how that one goes. Man, that's already getting into October. Holy smokes. Guys, year is flying by. Flying by. Like always. Life has an acceleration to it, does it not? Early on, you feel like days and years move by so slowly and you're bored. And then you get older and older and time flies. I know everyone always says that. I'm just a caricature, just like the rest of us. And then 35 through 41, talking about spiritual blindness. Interesting. I don't know if I like 35 to 41 separated out. I can see why they would naturally separate it there, but I'm nervous that 13 to 34 and then 35 to 41.
Your life is not in your hands. Your life is in the hands of God.
Yes.
Cal Magic Guy just resubbed for 39 months.
Love it. Thank you, Cal Magic. Much love. Tier 3, 39 months. Absolutely crazy support out of Cal Magic. Currently on a 39-month streak. Wow. It's insane. And subscribe for 12 months in advance. What a hero. Thank you so much, Cal Magic. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Yes, we are just digging into pericope breakdown for our next preaching segment out of John. So, what do we have here? He goes 13 to 29. But then he does do 35 to 41 on its own. Man. You can't take too long a pericope, you know what I mean? Jockmer, what is up? God bless. How are you? Welcome. Hope you are doing well. Good to see you. See, this one they break it down into 2. That might be good, though, because I feel like I'm short-sighting myself on just having the last, 8 verses together. So if a different preaching resource says all of those go together, that tells me there might be enough content for one sermon out of the 2 blocks. So I'm tempted to just roll with it. I don't know what I would do different, right? I could probably break earlier in my second. I could probably break earlier in 13 to 34, but I'd probably have to find some sort of arbitrary cutoff. And then I would have more verses altogether in 35 through 41. It just feels artificial. Let's just put it as everyone else has it. It's probably going to be easiest. And shouldn't be any issues. There. Nice. All right, chapter 10. So I'm only going to preach 3 sermons in John chapter 9. Whereas I preached a jillion, it felt like, in, I don't know, John 7, John 6. Yeah, there was a lot going on in John 7 for sure. It is what it is. All you can do is break them down the best you know how. Cal Magic says, I've always been taught to pray before I start with my Bible studies. I've been struggling with my prayer life and started reading and meditating on a Thanksgiving psalm. Works like a charm, sets my mind, heart ready to pray. That's really good, Cal Magic. Yeah, having some sort of trigger to get you into a different brain state, if that makes sense, I think is super valuable when it comes to prayer. Sometimes we jump right in without, decent analogy perhaps, if you try to jump into your workout without stretching your muscles first, it may not be warm and limber, right? So starting off with a Thanksgiving psalm, like you're saying, is a little bit like stretching before you work out. So I approve, Cal Magic. I think it's a good strategy. I'm glad it's working for you. That can be tough, man. That can be tough, just trying to jump into prayer. All right. Well, let's go on to John chapter 10 and see what we want. Whoa. This is almost a universal breakdown after verse 21. So this, I am the good shepherd. Probably one of the most important discourses, right? Why is this not full screen? There we go. So, John 10. Now, Lansky does break it down further. He's got Christ the shepherd, Christ the door, one flock and one shepherd. Impression made by these words on the Jews. Shepherd, door, one flock and one shepherd. Yeah, I'm tending to think that's going to go together. I can't see myself preaching one sermon on shepherd, one sermon on door, for example. Man, look at John Phillips' breakdown, though. See, at this level, he does go through 21. He only breaks it down in 2 spots. Shepherd and the fold, and then shepherd and the flock. Shepherd and fold, shepherd and flock. Let's look at that break. He does it at 15, I think it was. He flees because he is hired hand and cares nothing for the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I know my own and my own know me, just as the Father knows me and I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. Break here, and I have other sheep that are not of this fold. I must bring them also, and they will listen to my voice. So there will be one flock, one shepherd. For this reason the Father loves me, because I lay down my life that I may take it up again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down of my own accord. I have authority to lay it down. I have authority to take it up again. This charge I have received from my Father. There's again a division among the Jews because of these words. Many of them said, he has a demon, he is insane, why listen to him? Others said, these are not the words of one who is oppressed by a demon. Can a demon open the eyes of the blind? So the question is, can I preach 16 through 21 as its own unit? I probably could. Do I want to? See, when I see statements like verse 16, I could preach something on that. That could be its own sermon. But it would almost be like a Spurgeon-esque type sermon, where you use it as a springboard to preach on a systematic theological topic, which I've been doing less and less of these days. What is up, Clad Spider? Yes, back with your dinner. Very good. What did you get, if you don't mind me asking? I have my dinner. It's tea. Okay, it's not my dinner. I'm going to eat after the stream. Yes. That's very nice, though. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to tend to just go with it. John 10, especially like John is getting pretty long as we work through it, and many of the themes are iterative on each other. So without working the full sermon out in advance, I think I'm pretty safe to bet I'm going to be hitting on similar themes over and over again. So that makes me tend to want to pick longer pericopes rather than shorter. Let's roll with it. Ooh, now this is an interesting choice because the CSB has a much more refined breakdown in verses 22 through 42. Whereas everybody else just goes to 42. Meatballs, gravy, and potatoes. Sounds so good. Yum. Very nice. Well, I hope you enjoy, and God bless you for choosing to spend your time with me. Cheers. That's awesome. All right. Let's go here, just to make sure we're not making a grave error, like clumping these. Yeah, here's 22 to 42 altogether. Again, you can see some breakdown. I and the Father are one. Defense against charge of blasphemy. Return to Persea. Even that, though, is the kind of the same kind of idea. What does John Phillips say? John Phillips goes 22 to 42 as well. He has a double breakdown if you really want. Their determination and his departure. That's too refined as well. So 10, 22 to 42. I think where I'm leaning. 10, 22 to 42. Let's do it. Man. Blasting through these chapters. Not picking up 5 verses here, 6 verses there. Cloud Spider, yeah, I don't know why, but I've been feeling very disconnected from everything, and when I'm here, I feel like I've reset the cycle. Hey, that's great. Glad to be of service. And fitting, perhaps, on a Monday. Get disconnected, feel like you're all scattered, and then some sort of centering practice on Monday to set your week up. That's what it sounds like to me. Okay, John chapter 11, the raising of Lazarus. Ooh, the 7th sign. So a lot are going 11, 1 to 16. Honestly, I think I'm just going to tend to grab what they're doing. Although this entire chapter is on the raising of Lazarus. And then you can see there's a little bit of a difference here between whether you end at 44 or 46. So we have decisions to make. Let's go ahead and read chapter 11 together and feel where we think natural breakdowns are. Plus, chapter 11 is gonna be awesome. Can't wait to get here. Looks like the earliest I'll get here, Lord willing, is November. Now, a certain man was ill, Lazarus of Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. It was Mary who anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was ill. So the sisters sent to him, saying, Lord, he whom you love is ill. But when Jesus heard it, he said, This illness does not lead to death. It is for the glory of God, so that the Son of God may be glorified through it.
Your life is not in your hands. Your life is in the hands of God.
Let's go.
Angie Jags 88 just resubbed for 45 months.
45? That's crazy, Angie. 45 months. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your love and support, Angie. I can't believe we're approaching 4 years. Crazy. Hot fire indeed. Much love to you, Angie. I hope you're doing well. So good to see you. Happy Monday. Thanks for swinging by. Yeah. Awesome. Very good. Cal Magic, God reveals himself through the history of Israel. I wonder if that is temporary or an aspect of philosophy of history, a universal principle. I think this issue gets into dispensationalism and covenant theology a little bit. I think if you're a covenant theology guy, you're probably going to say that that's temporary and that God has moved on from that. I think if you're more of a dispensational, that you would say it's a universal principle. Very interesting. That's a fascinating way to analyze that question. And I have room for both. My generalized approach, I'm probably 60-40 in the direction of saying it's temporary, because I lean progressive covenantalism, right? So that covenantal aspect. You know, the way I see it, Israel's role was to produce the Messiah. That has been done, you know, and that's not their only role, but that's a huge part of their role. And so if a major aspect of why God chose you as a nation is fulfilled, part of me thinks that implies that aspect is completed or finished. But like I said, I'm 60-40. I could happily be arguing.
Your life is not in your hands. Your life is in the hands of God.
Yes. Violent. Come on.
Violent Midget 300 just resubbed for 33 months.
33. Thank you so much, Violent. Amazing. Appreciate all your love and support. Approaching 3 years. Wow. Fantastic. Man, all of you long-standing subscribers who have been supporting us so long, even though I'm down to once a week now, and some weeks I've even had to skip. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for all your love and support over the years. I've said it many times before. I have no intention of quitting what we're doing here. I think so much of the way of reaching the world is through the internet, and we need to figure out how to do this and do it well. And you guys have supported that vision all these years, even though the way we've realized it has changed drastically from what we first started out doing. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Thank you. Cal Magic says, maybe it was transferred to the church, something the Israelites would recognize. I'm kind of in the middle as well. Yeah, I understand. I think a dispensationalist would pejoratively call you a replacement theologian for saying that. But again, there seem to be some verses that indicate such a thing. Or when it talks about in Romans that we're grafted into Israel, right? That the spiritual Israel is what matters. And so the church may be representative of spiritual Israel in that way. Yeah, again, I have room for it, but it's not an easy one. It's certainly not an easy one to suss out at all. All right, let's go. Chapter 11, we're still reading. Now, Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard Lazarus was ill, he stayed 2 days longer in the place where he was. This is so crazy that he does this, right? This is massive. So, oh man, that's crazy. Then after this, he said to the disciples, let us go to Judea again. The disciples said to him, Rabbi, the Jews were just now seeking to stone you, and you are going to go there again? Jesus answered, are there not 12 hours in the day? If anyone walks in the day, he does not stumble because he sees the light of this world. But if anyone walks in the night, he stumbles because the light is not in him. Again, Jesus, what are you saying? If you're trying to say we should sneak in by nightfall, you did a very poor job of selling that point. After saying these things, he said to them, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I go to awaken him. The disciples said to him, Lord, if he has fallen asleep, he will recover. Now, Jesus had spoken of his death, but they thought he meant taking rest in sleep. Then Jesus told them plainly, Lazarus has died, and for your sake I am glad that I was not there, so that you may believe, but let us go to him. Whoo! Powerful. Powerful. So Thomas called the twins, said to his fellow disciples, let us also go that we may die with him. For the stoning. How dramatic, Thomas. How dramatic. Reminds me of Peter a little bit here. Lord, I will die with you. Will you now? Will you now? It seems to me you're going to deny me 3 times. You'll die for me. It's the other way around, Peter. I think 16 is a good stopping point. Let's do it. I mean, we're not having to get too fancy in these ones. We're not having to get too fancy. Pericopes are suggesting themselves. Now, when Jesus came, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb 4 days. Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles off. Many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to console them concerning their brother. So when Mary heard that Jesus was coming, she went and met him. But Mary remained seated in the house. Oh, Martha. Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now, I know that whatever you ask from God, God will give you. Even there, Martha has like a, can you raise him from the dead? She's hinting at it. Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. Woo! Martha said to him, I know he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet he shall live. And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this? She said to him, yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who is coming into this world. So, does 27 mark the cutoff? What was that sound? What did I do? 27 is a cutoff for several, but for several others, they keep going. Let's see. When she had said this, she went and called her sister Mary, saying in private, "The teacher is here and is calling for you." When she heard this, she rose quickly and went to him. Now Jesus had not yet come into the village, but was still in place where Martha had met him. I think these go together. I don't think I'm going to split here. When the Jews who were with her, because this is all narrative, right? Like, I'm not going to be able to get much teaching out of this unless I, like, hyper-allegorize the text or something, which we ain't going to do. When the Jews who were with her in the house consoling her saw Mary rise quickly and go out, they followed her, supposing that she was going to the tomb to weep there. Now when Mary came to where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet, saying to him, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." I just gave this speech, Mary. If you could have showed up at the right time, you would have heard it. When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had also come with her were weeping, he was deeply moved in his spirit and greatly troubled. He said, "Where have you laid him?" They said to him, "Lord, come and see." Jesus wept. So the Jews said, "See how he loved him." But some said, "Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind also have kept this man from dying?" So verse 37, is that the next cutoff? It is. I think that's pretty good, because this is a lot of narrative. I'm going to do it. John 10, 17 through 37. Cool. Cal Magic, I'm not into replacement theology at all. I think Israel is too much of a major subject throughout the Bible to accommodate the replacement of Israel. Yeah, I'm just a Bible hack, so I could be way off base. No, I feel what you're saying, Cal Magic. It's usually a term used by dispensationalists to describe those who talk about the transferring of some of the blessings and rights of the church to, or of Israel to the church, right? So, yeah, it's, I'm not sure that many covenant theologians would explicitly say of themselves that they're replacement theologians, right? It's one of those more pejorative attack terms. What is replacement theology? Love and Smart Search, y'all. Get your Smart Search. Reserve your Smart Search in the last chance sale, guys. Get a cheaper discount on your future subscription. Replacement theology. Concept that emerged from the teachings of some non-Jewish leaders of the 2nd century church who taught that the church had replaced Israel as God's chosen people. You can see, though, these are like, essentially teaches the church has replaced Israel in God's plan. Adherents of replacement theology believe the Jews are no longer God's chosen people. God does not have a specific plan for the nation of Israel. All the different views of the relationship between church and Israel can be divided into two camps. Either church is a continuation of Israel, replacement or covenant theology, or the church is completely different and distinct from Israel, dispensationalism and premillennialism. It's funny, I wouldn't put premillennialism. I know they often go together, but to me they're talking about different things. Anyway, there you go. There you go. All right. So if we stop at 37, survey says go through 45 or 47. Then Jesus, deeply moved again, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone lay against it. Jesus said, "Take away the stone." Martha, the sister of the dead man, said, "Lord, by this time there will be an odor, for he's been dead 4 days." Jesus said to her, "Did I not tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone, and Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this on account of the people standing around, that they may believe that you sent me." When he had said these things, he cried out with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." The man who had died came out. His hands and feet were bound with linen strips. His face was wrapped with a cloth. Jesus said to them, "Unbind him and let him go." Many of the Jewish leaders, therefore, who had come with Mary had seen what he did, believed in him. But some of them went to the Pharisees and told them what Jesus had done. So the chief priests and Pharisees gathered the council and said, "What are we to do, for this man performs many signs?" It feels really hard to cut it at 47. I don't agree, because you can see it's in the middle of their speech. We let him go on like this, everyone will believe in him, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, they end at 46. Okay, I was mistaken. I was going to say, many of the Jews, therefore, believed in him. There you go. Someone, okay, I can see now. Both are a good break. I like ending at 45. Instead of what, 43? Really? I'm doing something different. I'm going right in between. Yeah, I'm choosing to go in between everyone else. I'm slicing it right here. One verse after this group and one verse before this group. Is that really right? Plot to kill Jesus, plot to kill Jesus. Yeah, I'm going with it because this one to me, when they say they believed, I'm doing it. I'm going John 10, 38 to 45. Doing it. Stand by my decision. I stand by it. Now, I will do John 10, and I'll do 45 again, actually. John 10, 45 to, and what is it? End of chapter? 57. Yeah, pretty much everything goes to 57. Pretty good. Pretty good. Man, this book is gonna... When did I start preaching John? The end of 23. Started preaching September 23. I'm certainly going to be preaching through John through 24. And into 25 as well. Unless I get fired. If I get fired, then we'll obviously stop preaching sooner than that. Okay. Oh, have I been putting 10 this whole time? Yeah, this is all supposed to be 11. What am I doing? What are you doing, Tanner? What are you doing? Boom. Got it. That's good stuff. Raw puer. Gotta love it. Okay. John 10 only has 42 verses. Hello, Marilda. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Yes. Thank you. I made a mistake. I was writing down John 10, but I was looking through John 11. Indeed. John 10 ends at 42. These are all part of John 11. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I messed up there. But we're back on track. We're back on track. Love it. Okay, let's go to John 12. John 12. Jess is going to be so happy. You are human. Indeed. I am. We make mistakes. It's part of the human condition. And I appreciate your recognition of that. Thank you. Fuzz, hello. Been a minute. Replacement theology is a pejorative. No one actually believes it. It's something Dispies say to CT and NCT. Right. I don't think I've ever heard somebody actively, deliberately own the moniker replacement theology or replacement theologian and said, yeah, that's me. I do that. So I'm with you. Okay, let's see how chapter 12 breaks down. So some do 1 to 8, others do 1 to 11, and then the triumphal entry. So let's look at 1 to 8 and then 1 to 11. 6 days before the Passover, Jesus therefore came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, whom Jesus had raised from the dead. So they gave a dinner for him there. Martha served, and Lazarus was one of those reclining with him at the table. Mary therefore took a pound of expensive ointment made from pure nard and anointed the feet of Jesus and wiped his feet with her hair. The house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. But Judas Iscariot, one of his disciples, he who was about to betray him, said, "Why was this ointment not sold for 300 denarii and given to the poor?" He said this not because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief, and having charge of the money bag, he used to help himself to what was put in it. Jesus said, "Leave her alone, so that she may keep it for the day of my burial. For the poor you always have with you, but you do not always have me." That's a good pericope. There's a lot there. Money, this little statement, right, often taken out of context and used to attack people who are not, well, in the reverse, used by some to not support the poor, right? let's go 9 and 10, or is it 9 through 11? Let's see what we have here. Yeah, 9 through 11. Let's see. When the large crowd of the Jews learned that Jesus was there, they came not only on account of him, but also to see Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. So the chief priests made plans to put Lazarus to death as well, because on account of him, many of the Jews were going away and believing in Jesus. Is that worth its own pericope? I think it is. I actually think it is. I think I can preach on just these 3 verses. And I think I would preach a sermon on how association with Christ puts you in the line of fire as well, right? Which is a very different message than what's going on here about the poor and the money and all that type of stuff. I'm going to split it. We'll go John 12, 1 to 8. And then we will do John 12, 9 through 11. Small section here. Fuzz, and hey, long time. We getting sick. Yay. I'm sorry to hear that. We haven't been seriously sick in a while. My son and daughter have had coughs and sniffles, things like that, but nothing serious for a minute, so luckily my desk is made out of wood. Ha ha! Alrighty. Man, that's good tea. Love it. I got some more. Oh, and it's still hot because it's in one of those insulated mugs. Love to see it. All right. 12 through what? Everybody goes 12 to 19. Probably worth going 12 to 19. So the Pharisees said to one another, "You see that you are gaining nothing. Look, the world has gone after him." Now among those who went up to worship at the feast were some Greeks. So those came to Philip, who were from Bethsaida in Galilee, and said to him, "Sir, we wish to see Jesus." Yeah, perfect cutoff point. John 12 to 19. How's life, Fuzz? What are you up to? You been preaching? I know you were trying to do that for a minute at your church. Supporting and helping out in that capacity. Are you still doing that? All right, now I've got to be careful of holidays. Got to be careful of holidays. Do I want to preach like a Thanksgiving message somewhere around here? When is Thanksgiving this year? This I do not know. Maybe. Then, of course, we have our Christmas Eve. No, my wife cut that out. Teaching the teens once a month and media guys. She doesn't want me to preach at all. Why? Was sermon prep time taking too much away from your family? Is that what was going on? It can be a lot of work. I've had somebody fill in preaching for me last week or two, and it helps out a ton. So I could understand the reverse being true, right? You take that burden on yourself. Ooh, that's a lot. I see, Fuzz. I see. Fair enough. Fair enough. I can understand that. I'm just going to keep putting it right on through, and then I can decide later whether I want to move stuff around a little bit or not. So let's just keep dropping stuff in place. Okay. Now, among those who went up to worship at the feast were some Greeks. So, starting at 20. 20 to 26 or 20 to 36? 20 to 26 or 20 to 36? Let's see. Now, among those who went up to worship at the feast were some Greeks. So these came to Philip, who was from Bethsaida in Galilee. They asked him, "Sir, we wish to see Jesus." Philip went and told Andrew. Andrew and Philip went and told Jesus. And Jesus answered them, "The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. Truly, truly, I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. Whoever loves his life loses it, and whoever hates his life in this world will keep it for eternal life. But if anyone serves me, he must follow me. And where I am, there will my servant be also. If anyone serves me, the Father will honor him." I think that's a good cutoff. These verses are way too powerful. This is definitely a full sermon. We don't want to blow through these. So I stop at 26. And then we do 27 through 36. John 12, 20 to 26. John 12, 27 to 36. Now is my soul troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour. But for this purpose I have come to this hour. Father, glorify your name. Then a voice came from heaven. I have glorified it, and I will glorify it again. The crowd that stood there and heard it said that it had thundered. Others said, an angel has spoken to him. Jesus answered, this voice has come for your sake, not mine. Now is the judgment of this world. Now will be the ruler of this world cast out. And I, when I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all people to myself. He said this to show by what kind of death he was going to die. So the crowd answered him, we've heard from the law that the Christ remains forever. How can you say the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is this Son of Man? So Jesus said to them, the light is among you for a little while longer. Walk while you have the light, lest darkness overtake you. The one who walks in darkness does not know where he is going. While you have the light, believe in the light, that you may become the sons of light. When Jesus had said these things, he departed and hid himself from them. Ends at 36. Marilda! Interesting. The Father does the honoring. Yeah, that's fascinating, huh? The Father glorifies his name, and I will glorify it again. The relationship between the Father and the Son is fascinating. Because, don't get me wrong, functionally speaking, the Father often takes preeminence, but not always. Like you said, he also honors the Son, and in that sense, the relationship is more reciprocal. Though he had done many signs before them, they still did not believe in him, so that the word spoken by the prophet of Isaiah might be fulfilled. Lord, who has believed what he has heard from us, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? I think this is Isaiah 53:1. Therefore they could not believe, for again Isaiah said, he has blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, lest they see with their eyes and understand with their heart and turn, and I would heal them. Isaiah said these things because he saw his glory and spoke of him. A lot of people say saw his glory is a reference to Jesus. And a lot of people like to say that this is John saying that the glory that Isaiah saw in Isaiah 53, no, Isaiah 6, the glory of God that Isaiah saw in Isaiah 6 was actually Jesus on the throne. So I've read many authors that have said that, and they get it from this verse. So where do we want to break it? I went to 36. I'm okay with that. I think I want the full segment here. You break at 43. For they love the glory that comes from man more than the glory that comes from God. I don't know. These verses definitely require some explanation. So maybe it is good to go through 43 and then through the rest of the chapter, 44 to 50. Let's do that. John 12, 37 to 43. And then John 12, 44 to 50. Boom, boom. And that puts us into 2025. That's the rest of the year roadmap. And again, we'll probably move this around a little bit. Sometimes I do a New Year's sermon. Doesn't fall on New Year's. Doesn't have to be done. Looks like Christmas Eve is going to fall midweek Tuesday. So don't have to preach even a Christmas-specific sermon. Doesn't have to be done. Thanksgiving to me is far enough off. So we could probably just keep blasting through John if we want. If we want. Okay. John 13. One through what? One through what? And while I'm at it, let's look at all the Sundays in 2025. So we have 2nd, 9th, 16th, and 23rd. 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd. Of 25. 2nd, 9th, 16th, and 23rd. 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd. Okay. March will be 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th. Because it's not a leap year and there are only 28 days. It's the same pattern, but then the 30th goes in. Makes sense. Ah. Don't turn numlock off. Don't you guys hate it when you're trying to use the number pad and it's like inputting all these weird commands because you've turned off numlock on accident? It's a real bummer when that happens. Okay, we're rocking and rolling. We got plenty of days. And usually like Father's Day, Mother's Day, I mix it up. Oh, do I want to preach an Advent series? Probably. We've done it for 2 years straight now. I probably should. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's fitting. 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd. Yeah, we probably want to preach Advent. Let's preach Advent. We've done it 2 years running now, and everybody likes it. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, here we've got Advent 1. Advent 2. I like it too. It's a nice break from verse by verse, chapter by chapter. Because otherwise we're just blasting through. John forever. So, let me go here now then. I'm trying to remember what sermons I preached. Advent 4, 3, and 2. Hope, preparation, joy, love. Hope, preparation, joy, love. It looks like I went with the primary themes here. Yeah, and I did some studies on hope. Hope, preparation. No, I did peace. It's like I did peace. Hope, peace, joy, love? I think that makes sense. I want it to be more clear because you check different Advent calendars and they have different things. Let's actually look at each of our Canvas documents. Find Canvas. Let's go Hope. So right here, Advent 1, 2023, Expectant Hope. Advent 2, Expectant Hope, Peace, Joy leading to salvation. So hope, peace, joy, love is what I did this year. Or last year. Hope, peace, joy, love. Is that what I have here? Hope, peace, joy, love. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay. That pushes us all the way out till February on these things. When's Valentine's Day? 14th? We're fine. Much love. I saw that. I saw that heart. I appreciate it. Okay, let's go 13, 1 to 4? Oh, some separate out the introduction of the Lord's Supper between the washing of feet. I'll probably put it all together, but let's see if these first 4 verses are a sermon on their own. Now, before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart out of this world to the Father, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. During the supper, when the devil had already put it in the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going back to God, rose from the supper. He laid aside his outer garments and, taking a towel, tied it around his waist. So, yeah, this isn't its own sermon. I could, but I don't think it'd be valuable. So let's keep going. And most break at 17. Some break at 20. Looks like, do you want to include the betrayal or prediction of betrayal or not? If you know these things, blessed are you if you do them. I'm not speaking of all of you. I know whom I have chosen, but the scripture will be fulfilled. He who ate my bread has lifted his heel against me. I am telling you this now, before it takes place, that when it does take place, you may believe that I am he. Truly, truly, I say to you, whoever receives the one I send receives me, and whoever receives me receives the one who sent me. Yeah, this isn't its own sermon, these 3 verses, so let's just clump them all together. 1 to 20. Woo! 1 to 20. Ruination, hello! What's up, PT? How's it so close to the end of 2024 already? I know it! Don't I know it? It's flying by. I can see it won't be very many days before August is done. And then, September's there, but right after that is October, and that's getting into winter for us. Right? So, I'm feeling you. It's crazy. Summer has flown by. I do love our summers up here, though. We get very nice summers. Okay, starting in 21. 21 to 30 is about half of them. Ooh, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. Then this new command that's an old command about love, 31 to 35. Let's see if we want to break at 30 or not. Let's start with that question. After saying these things, Jesus was troubled in his spirit and testified, truly, truly, I say to you, one of you will betray me. The disciples looked at one another, uncertain of whom he spoke. One of his disciples, whom Jesus loved, was reclining at table at Jesus' side. So Simon, Peter, motioned to him and asked Jesus of whom he was speaking. So that disciple, leaning back against Jesus, said to him, Lord, who is it? Jesus answered, It is he to whom I will give this morsel of bread when I have dipped it. So when he had dipped the morsel, he gave it to Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot. Then after he had taken the morsel, Satan entered him. Jesus said to him, What you're going to do quickly. Now, no one at the table knew why he said this to him. Some thought that because Judas had the money bag, Jesus was telling him, buy what we need for the feast, or that he should give something to the poor. So after receiving the morsel of bread, he immediately went out, and it was night. When he had gone out, Jesus said, Now the Son of Man is glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God is glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself, and glorify him at once. Little children, yet a little while I'm with you. You will seek me, and just as I said to the Jews, so now I also say to you, where I am going, you cannot come. A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another just as I have loved you. You are also to love one another. By this all people will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. I kind of like that. Preaching on the topic of love, I think, is really important because very few people actually understand and grasp love. So I think we go 21 to 30, end there, and then we do the new commandment as its own sermon. Let's do that. 21 to 30. And then let's do 31 to 35 all on its own. Hello! Hello, Master. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome. Yeah, long time no see. Are you doing well? Good to see you. I'm doing very well. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for asking. Okay, we are going 36 through what? Can 36 to 38 be its own? Simon Peter said to him, Lord, where are you going? Jesus answered him, where I'm going, you cannot follow me now, but you will follow afterward. Peter said to him, Lord, why can I not follow you now? I will lay down my life for you. Jesus answered, will you lay down your life for me? Truly, truly, I say to you, the rooster will not crow till you have denied me 3 times. Is Jesus' restoration in this book? It is. I don't know if I can preach this on its own. Maybe I just include it then. Let's include it. I don't want to preach its own sermon because I think in this book is when Jesus restores.
Because it begins by hearing Moses and the prophets. It begins by submitting to the Word of God.
Let's go. Gamers Table, thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. What were you guys playing? Welcome to the channel. Thanks for swinging by.
I don't know why you're clapping. I'm talking about you.
I do appreciate it. Thank you, Druid. Welcome to the channel. For those who don't know, I am Pastor Tanner. I am a pastor of a small Baptist church here in Colorado, and I'm doing my sermon preparation. So this is where I just walk through and try to look at what I'm going to be preaching this upcoming Sunday. So welcome to the channel, everyone. Thanks for swinging by. Appreciate that raid. Very awesome. Thank you for that follow, Druid. Very good. If you guys have any questions on anything related to religion, spirituality, anything like that, happy to try and answer them. Just trying to put together my calendar for preaching for these upcoming Sundays. I'm kind of working my way into 2025 to see what I'll preach there. So that's what I'm up to. Hello, Gamers Table. Thank you so much for that raid. Appreciate it. What were you guys doing? What were you playing? Like I said, thanks for swinging by the channel. Alrighty. Been a while since I got a raid. I stream so short these days. So I do appreciate that, Gamers Table. That's awesome. So if you guys have never heard of Logos Bible Software, I'm an affiliate with the company. I love Logos. It is digital software to both read the Bible digitally and have a digital library of books that are usually related to religion and spirituality. So pretty cool program. I can open all these books digitally, read through them, take notes and all that stuff. So pretty handy. That's the software I use. Marilda, a good sermon would be John 6, 37, 39, 44 to 45, and 65. Yeah, Marilda, all of those verses are really strong on God's sovereignty. And I preached a sermon on those verses, but I kind of clumped them together. Let's see what I ended up doing on those ones. Let's see. I might have called it sovereignty. Of course I can't spell it.
Your life is not in your hands.
Thank you.
Your life is in the hands of God.
Madden, much love. Thank you for that prime
Madden
sub.
just resubbed for
Thank you,
17 months.
Yeah, so Marilda, it looks like I preached 22 to 71, but I know I didn't read all those verses. Over here I'm showing read 27 to 47 and then jump to 60 and read 60 to 71. So I kind of split it up a bit. So, yeah, but you're right. Those verses definitely go together. We beat a new game, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Woo! That's awesome. Very, very cool. Well, I'm glad you're able to beat it. I haven't played any of those games. Neither 1 nor 2. What kind of game is it? I'm curious to know what kind of game it is. Toasty says, hi, Pastor Tanner. Just raided with the Gamers Table. This is cool. Some live sermon preparation chat. That's exactly it, Toasty. That's exactly it. Feel free to ask whatever questions you'd like. I'm going to hang for a bit, though. Yeah, you're more than welcome to. More than welcome to. Yeah, congrats. How'd you find out about me, Gamers Table? I'm curious to know. Marilda says, you helped me know about upgrading Logos. It just happened that you popped up on my screen a little bit ago. God is awesome. Oh, that's so cool. Marilda, very cool. So you've watched some of my videos before, and then you came over because the live stream got fed to your feed. Well, awesome. Thanks for swinging by, Marilda. I'm glad you've been a part of the stream today. You've had a lot of good insights. Gamers Table says, likely found you back when our channel was Pastor J Online. Ah, I got you. Yep. There used to be a strong contingency of Christian streamers and different pastors and things like that streaming on Twitch. So, yeah, very interesting. I used to keep up with a lot of those communities, but I just don't anymore. I don't have time. Don't have time these days. There's too much to do, guys. Not enough time to do it. You got to pick and choose how you're going to spend your time. Alrighty. Looks like I'm going to go through the end of the chapter with this one. So in early March then, I'm going to be jumping into chapter 14. And let's see where the Common Bibles break down chapter 14. A lot of them break at, it's a mixed bag. These ones break at verse 7. These ones break at verse 6. And these ones break after verse 4. What a mess. Let's read the first 8 verses of the chapter and see where we want to break it down. Let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, I would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and I will take you to myself, that where I am you may be also. And you know the way to where I am going. Thomas said to him, Lord, we do not know where you are going. How can we know the way? Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you had known me, you would have known my Father also. From now on, you do know him and have seen him. Philip said to him, Lord, show us the Father, and it is enough for us. Jesus said to him, have I been with you so long, you still do not know me, Philip? Whoever seen me has seen the Father. How can you now say, show us the Father? Do you not believe that I am in the Father, and the Father is in me? The words that I say to you, I do not speak on my own authority. So this whole unity of the Father and the Son is its own mixed bag for sure. We probably should preach 14:1-7. And then we can probably preach 14:7 through wherever this ends. And that's a way of like overlapping verse 7, which I think is the verse in question for a lot of these. They're like, do we include 7 or not? And there's different choices. Well, I'm going to do both because it's really easy to read the same verse at the end of one sermon at the beginning of another. So let's do that. John 14:1-7. And then on the next one, we will preach John 14:7 through wherever. And where is that wherever? Looks like I could go to 11 or 14. Oh my goodness, there's so many splits in this chapter. We're going to have to be very deliberate about where we end our pericope selection. So you're going to be preaching on John, or have you been? I have been for a while now. Let's see, my first sermon on John was, looks like end of September 2023. And I've been preaching in it all through 2024. Looks like it will probably take me well into 2025 to finish it. So when it's all said and done, I will probably have been in John 2.5 years? Something like that. Yeah. Druid says, yeah, myself, Toasty, and Pastor Jay are all Christians who are part of a church plant together, and fellow nerds who just want to reach people through gaming nerd culture avenues. I'll be lurking as we wrap up our night. Best of luck with the prep. Thank you. So did you guys all live in the same city? You plant a local church? Or have you tried to plant like an online style church? I've seen some churches that have tried to do like an online model. Pretty cool. Gamers for Jesus. Love to see it. Jesus comes for people from every tribe, tongue, people, and nation. They're all his. They are all his. 7:2. Philip said to him, Lord, show us the Father is enough. We already read that. Do you believe? Blah, blah, blah. Believe in me. I am the Father. The Father is in me. Believe on account of the works themselves. Truly, truly, I say to you, whoever believes in me will also do the works that I do. And greater works than these will he do, because I am going to the Father. Whatever you ask my name, this I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you ask me anything in my name, I will do it. Wow. Unity of Father and Son probably ends at 11. So I could probably go 7-11. That's a short pericope. Yeah, it's not that short. Some of these verses are pretty hefty. And again, the unity of Father and Son is very interesting here, but it's an earlier theme. So am I just going to be recapitulating some of the same themes? You can see my instinct to stop at 11 is consistent with the CSB, but nobody else does. What if we go to 14? Truly, truly, I say to you, whoever believes in me will also do the works that I do, and greater works than these will he do, because I am going to the Father. Whatever you ask in my name, this I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you ask me anything in my name, I will do it. It's a good split. 15 is a good split too. Now I can see why the various translations. Some include 15, some don't include 15. I can see why. Part of me wants to put 15 with all of this. Yeah, because it's not talking about the Holy Spirit until verse 16. I'm doing it. John 4:7-15. John 4:16 and beyond. 16 to something. Hello, Estudiante de Teología. Met you last time, I believe. Hi, Pastor. How are you? I'm doing very well. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Druid says, we have 2 physical church campuses in the Northeast. We're about 7 years into our church plant. Pastor Jay is our pastor. I lead worship. Toasty helps run our kids ministry, all involved pretty heavily in our own ways. That's amazing, Druid. So cool. Praise God. God bless you in your guys' ministry. That's fantastic. Awesome. So glad to hear it. All right. Starting in 16. So I guess I'm taking the break of LSB, the NASBs. And they go 16 to the end. Let me see if 27 to 31 has anything to do with the Spirit. Because if it does, I'm just going to keep it. Ooh, it doesn't. Do I want to split here? Depends on how 15 is going to go. Vine and branches stuff. So we at least have precedence to go through 26. The question is, do we just want to finish the chapter out? Not sure. I've taken English classes to enjoy their live shows. That's great. Is one of your assignments to watch streamers in English so you can try and practice the language? That's a pretty cool assignment, if so. Ah, Marilda. Bringing in the Spanish. Get after it, guys. Represent. All right. This is 14, not 4. Fatu Reki. You're planning all the way through March? Yeah, roughly speaking. It really helps the worship team to kind of know where I'm going. And this is hard work. It takes a lot of time. So because I'm not preaching this Sunday, I just figured I would do it all in a batch planning. Marilda translating into English for us. Thank you. All right, 6, 13, 20, 27. 6, 13, 20, 27. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Man, tuning in from Puerto Rico and Mexico. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Gamers Table, have a good night, bro. Thankful to see you being a light to this community that we love. Have a good night, everyone. Yes, God bless you guys. Have a good night. Keep up your faithful ministry services. That's awesome. So good to see you guys. Thanks for the raid. All right. Do we want to end here? Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. You heard me say to you, I am going away and I will come to you. If you love me, you would have rejoiced, because I am going to the Father, for the Father is greater than I. And now I have told you before it takes place, so that, when it does take place, you will believe. I will no longer talk much with you, for the ruler of this world is coming. He has no claim on me, but I do as the Father has commanded me, so that the world may know that I love the Father. Rise, let us go from here. I think these are worth its own sermon. Executive decision. John 14, 17 to 31 are on its own. Decision made. Bless you, Pastor Tanner. Thank you so much, Marilda. I appreciate you. All right, continuing. Chapter 15, Vine and Branches. Oh, what a sermon. What a sermon. Some end at, only one ends at 8. Some end at between 11 and 12. So, do I want to preach 17 verses, or do I want to preach 2 sermons split up amongst that? Let's look. I'm the true vine, my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away, and every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. Already you are clean because of the word that I have spoken to you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. If anyone does not abide in me, he is thrown away like a branch and withers. And the branches are gathered, thrown into the fire, and burned. If you abide in me, and my words abide in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. By this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit, and so prove to be my disciples. So, I could break there. I can see why you would break there. By this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit, and so prove to be my disciples. As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be full. So some end there. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love is no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for the servant does not know what his master is doing. But I have called you friends, for all that I have heard from my Father I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you, that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should abide, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give it to you. These things I command you, so that you will love one another. Ugh. Man, it's so dense, but I kind of feel like it goes all together. Do I really want to preach these 17 verses? There's a lot there. There's a lot there, y'all. Man. Let's see. Abiding, fruit, and love. I kind of think they all go together. I'm gonna clump them. I can just see John is getting so long. I'm gonna tend to take larger sections here. So that's my last decision on this one. I may come back and change that. All right, guys. All right, this has been an awesome stream. Loved hanging out with you guys, and yeah, really nice to make some progress. We are through March, and the only question is what to do in April, and I think this will lengthen out as well, because surely I'm going to have other people get into the pulpit and preach as well. I think that's a great opportunity. So yeah, we've got a lot of months planned ahead of us, which is perfect, and I appreciate y'all taking the time to hang out with me tonight. Good night, PT. Thanks for streaming. Yes, my pleasure, Ruination. I got to go, guys. I am going to go help with the kids. I heard the baths running, and so I'm going to go help a little bit with the kids. We'll do our family devotional together and get them put to bed. I appreciate you all hanging out tonight, and yeah, thank you so much for participating here with the Pastor Tanner channel, and I hope that you guys have a fantastic week, okay? As always, you can kind of tune in this upcoming Sunday if you're interested in it, and look at our other channels. All right, have a good one, guys. Appreciate you all very much. Take care.